right. Stream link copied to clipboard. Oh, I should have already had Discord open in the background. Oh well. Let's just do this. We'll be starting in just a second here. Okay, all right. The link is up in YouTube. No, the link is up in Discord. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. It's amazing taking basically an entire month off of this. Wait, that's not true. We didn't take an entire month off. We just had a whole month to actually do the jam. That's what was going on. It feels like I haven't been here in an entire month, though. Whether, you know, that's literal or metaphorical, they're both kind of feeling the same right now. So let's see. I'm going to have to get my bearings and try and remember how I even do these things. All right. Let's go in 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to Grimlyte Games. I'm your host, Grimmy, and this is Be Jammin number 6. So, we did things a little bit differently this time around. What we decided to do was, instead of the usual 10-day format, we gave our devs an entire month to put together their best work and get it all situated and set up so we could stream it at the end of October. Now, we had a bunch of people sign up. We had a lot of devs super interested in the project, and unfortunately, for one reason or another, a lot of devs ended up having to drop out before we got to the end. I'm a little sad to see that. It is upsetting, especially because there's some that I know they were working really, really hard, and issues beyond their control, unfortunately, made it so they weren't able to complete their jams for this jam. Maybe it was the time of year. Maybe it was the fact that it was a month long. Who knows? These are all little things that we're going to be analyzing as we move forward. Obviously, the whole point of this entire exercise from the start, from the get-go, was to help give newer devs a space and an opportunity to challenge themselves and showcase their work. So, if it does turn out that the longer format just didn't work out for a bunch of people, we'll end up going back to our shorter format. But that's obviously something we're going to have to poll our community for to figure out as we move forward. But that being said, we do have 2 entries that we are going to go through, and since we do only have 2 entries this time around, we're probably going to give them a little bit more screen time than we normally would otherwise. So this is going to give us an opportunity to really kind of explore what these devs were able to create for us to go through. That being said, the theme of this jam was unlikely allies. So I'm very interested to see how our 2 developers utilized that theme. We're going to be grading based on hold please. I don't even know what my grading criteria is. Okay, I just need to have this up so I can actually see it. So we're going to be looking at the game loop. We're going to be looking at our creativity, originality, and technical execution. So creativity realistically is more or less going to be looking at how the developer creatively tied in our theme. And then originality is going to really kind of look at the game itself as far as what ideas are being presented in it, what mechanics are being presented in it, and how original those ideas are, or how original the spin is on maybe something that's been tried a lot. So we're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it safe, and we're going to have a good time. So first up, we're going to be checking out Parafriend, which was submitted by our very own Kisami. And yeah, let's see what we got here. A turn-based strategy game made for Be Jammin 6, game jam with the theme Unlikely Ally. Controls, left mouse button to select actions. Font, all right, we've got a nice little call out to where we got the font from. All assets made by me during the game jam. No AI was used in any form to build this project. Fantastic, great work. Let's jump on in. Ooh, there we go. Okay, we're good. Got a nice little full screen display here. Parafriend. Ooh, I like this this background. Nice, ominous, eerie, kind of creepy. I like it. I like it. We've got some game juice on our buttons. Always appreciate seeing that. And of course, a settings menu. There we go. Music volume, sound effects volume. I've said it once. I'm going to say it 1,000,000 times. If you have sound in your game, make sure you give your player a settings menu to adjust that. So we're going to turn this down just a little bit, so that way it doesn't overpower me talking. I do like the choice of music, though. It's got a very crunchy, bitty sound to it, and it's definitely giving off that eerie vibe. Okay, let's jump on in and see what we got going on. Halloween is right around the corner. It is a big deal for a young teen in a small town like Mike. Oh, like Mike! I wonder if we're Mike Myers. Okay, good. We've got an option to skip if we've already been through this, or we can continue. And of course, we've got our game juice on there. Loving it. October 31st. So let's go ahead and continue. He decided to go all out and get a cool costume. The usual shop wasn't open, so he decided to go down the forest road. Why is this giving off a Goosebumps vibe to me? Do you guys know Goosebumps, or am I just really dating myself here? A shady and eerie shop. Perfect. Now, I will say, while I love this stylized text and font, I think it's perfect for the creepy theme, it is a little bit tricky to read. That could just be because, you know, again, I'm talking about how old I am, so obviously, you know, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, but just the sharpness of it, it can make it a little bit tricky, but nothing too glaring to be upset about. Nice background image. Looks like Kasami definitely busted out the artwork this time around. So we've got some different shifting scenery so far. Play a game with me and get this costume for free. Yeah, because that never went poorly at all. Play a game with some witch, and she's going to give you a costume for free. So do I have to win the game to get the costume, or is it just playing the game? See, again, this is really giving off Goosebump vibes. Like, I'm having flashbacks to, I think it was called The Haunted Mask. Fun little story about this little kid who gets a Halloween mask, and, well, for lack of a better, shorter story, the mask turns the kid into a monster. So anyways. Oh. The costume you got gives you great strength, but builds up poison in your blood. Interesting. Okay. Beat my minions and earn the antidote. Okay, alright. She's playing hardball, huh? A parasite sucks Mike's blood. The effects of poison are gone. It's your ally of sorts. It feeds on your blood, but increases your chance of survival. Unless you run out of blood, of course. Oh. Okay, this looks like it's going to introduce a very cool mechanic. I'm not going to guess, but I have an idea. I will go easy on you. Defeat my minions and win. I love the costume. That's great. With an unlikely ally by his side, Mike fights for his life. Use actions to defeat the minions. Use mouse to select the action. Each action costs 1 action point. When action points reach 0, you must give the turn to the enemy by clicking the end turn button. Action points are reset after each enemy turn. Poison builds up after every turn. If left unchecked, it will reduce HP. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to balance how much poison we let build up by having our little ally suck our blood, but also not doing that too frequently as to deplete our HP as well. Interesting. Okay, okay. I think that's a pause button. Okay, so here's our player HP, poison bar, enemy HP, and our actions. We can heal, suck, and attack. I'm assuming he's the one doing the sucking. I don't think Mike's going to be jumping on this creature over here. Okay. Yep, okay, so that is straight up pause menu, resume, restart, settings, main menu, all that good stuff. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Action points 4. Okay, so I guess we're going to attack. Oh, heck yeah. Nice little animation there. Fantastic. We've got 3 more action points. Well, I mean, we just did half this guy's health, so we should just hit him again, right? Okay. Interesting. All right, so our action points reset. We are getting a little off-clipping on the edge of the screen there. Could just be a resolution issue. Let me see. Can I increase this? Nope, I guess this is as big as I can get it on my monitor. So probably just a little bit of a native resolutioning there. You know, most standard monitors are going to be like your what, 1920 by 1080, but I'm actually playing on like a 1460 by 25.56, something like that. So that could just be why I'm experiencing a little clip there. Oh, this guy's definitely got a lot more health. Okay. Bam. So we're going to use up all of our action points to attack. And then I guess we have to end our turn. Oh, he spit at us. So I'm assuming that probably built up some poison on us. Unfortunately, we can't see it, though. Yep, just a little bit. Okay. So we probably don't have to worry quite yet. I'm going to let the poison go up one more time, because I think we can take him out. Oh, wow, that was a significant jump after the first one. Okay. The screen is not full screen, I guess. Yeah, so I did... what is it? So I did hit the full screen button here, but it doesn't seem like it's actually pulling the whole thing. So again, I don't know if it's a native issue that's going on with my setup and my monitor, or if it's just a slight oversight in setting the screen resolution. So let's see. So let's use the suck to get rid of the poison, which I have a feeling is going to take some of our HP. Yeah. Okay. I had a feeling that's how it was going to end up working out. So we've still got 3 action points left. We should be able to clean this guy's clock. Perfect. And then we can use our... Oh, I heal back to full without even having... Oh, hit the blue one after hitting escape? Let's try it. Hey, look at that. Nice. Good call, good call. Okay. So interesting. I guess the blue one was what was supposed to bring it to full screen, and the other one, I don't know, I guess it said it was full screen, but it wasn't. Anyways. Alright, so that's cool. So we end up getting back up to full health in between rounds. However, wait, action points 3. Why did we go down to 3? Weren't we always at 4? Oh, wow. Yeah, this guy's going to take quite a beating. Alright, so this one's going to be tricky. We're going to have to really pay attention. I wonder if this guy can pull out all of the poison, or if he can only do a set amount. I think we're going to let the poison build up pretty high, and then we'll see how that works out. Yeah, we only have 3 action points now. Maybe it's because I beat the other ones too quickly. They're like, hey, no. Less actions for you. Oh. Okay. That's a lot of poison. I'm worried that if I let him hit me again, it's going to go all the way up, right? Because that's a pretty exponential increase there. Let's just have him take the poison out now. Attack! And I guess we'll heal. Ooh, this is going to be tricky to balance this all out. What? You've got to be kidding me. Okay. So, attack, heal. Interesting. Then it was only a little bit of poison. Alright. Attack, heal. We'll let him hit us again, see what happens with our poison meter. Okay, it's only going up a little bit now. Do we keep chancing it? I think we do. Go broke or go home, right? That one didn't bring our poison up at all. Okay, alright. Maybe it was on like a chance basis, and I missed that. Oh, okay. Well, we're definitely going to go ahead and remove that. Oh, and he does take all of it away. Good job, buddy. Good job. Yeah, that one didn't give me any poison. It's very interesting. I would love to see some kind of math breakout for why you get poisoned, how you get poisoned, and why you get as much as you do. I think that could potentially be pretty cool. Because right now I can't figure out the rhyme or reason to it. You know what? We're just gonna wail on this guy. Oof. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of that. Oof. Oof. All right, we're gonna kind of eat this turn. Here we go. Oh man. We need to end up in another one of those instances where he doesn't put as much poison on us. We are whittling him down, slowly but surely. Alright, good, good, good. So now even if he gets, like, the big one, we should still be safe. Should I just go for it? Yeah, we're going to heal in between rounds anyways, so we should probably just try and take him out. Now, does my poison go away in between rounds? Let's figure that out. Hey! So you defeated them all. Very well, you win. Nice. All right, cool. So it looks like that was... oh gosh. Both of the names are pretty close. Parafriend. Oh, I totally get the play on words now. Aha. Okay, yeah, so it was a random increase from 0 to max value. I think that's a tough call, right? I definitely think as the player, I would have appreciated either a constant that I could then strategize around, because when you kind of leave it up to RNG like that, you can almost dog your player, and then when a game feels unfair from RNG, it can definitely be a turnoff. I know that there are people out there that do enjoy that, right? So that isn't like the end-all be-all advice as far as like gameplay mechanics go. But from a personal preference, I am one of those players. I don't like to feel like I'm a victim of RNG. RNG is good, but I think as a rule, you want to use it more for the boons, right? And less for kind of punishing your player. So more like, hey, you could get this really awesome thing if RNG is kind to you, or you could just get this good thing. Or if you're going to use RNG for bad things, kind of have them not quite as diminishing, right? Because now imagine if I got hit for max value right there, right? That's a game over. And it's like, well, there was no way to strategize around that. So that's really what I mean when I say you don't want to set up your game to have RNG that punishes the player. Because if there's no way for me to strategize around just a random number that instantly ends the game for me, it can be a hard sell. So that being said, let's kind of jump into just real quick. I think the first thing that I saw that I think could help elevate this, if you were to keep going a little bit further with it, in the very beginning where you have the, here's how you play it kind of written out. Instead, what you could do is take those instructions, keep them in your head, but then walk the player through those instructions in your tutorial level, basically, right? Like when you go into the fight and you start attacking the monster, you can kind of explain that as you go, and that gets you more into that thing that I always talk about, the show don't tell. It's a really good mechanic for getting your player more vested in the game. It's very, very popular as far as writing is concerned too. You always want to show, don't tell. Because now imagine if you're reading, and rather than kind of getting to put the character's perspective together from all the clues that are being given to you, right? Like making you do a little bit of the mental work to feel rewarded. The author's just like, main character sad. Like, okay, the main character's sad. Rather than being like, a tear formed in the corner of his eye, memories of XYZ started to pan, and then it's like, oh, okay, ooh, there's some story here. We can, right? So that's just a writing example. So when you introduce the show don't tell policy into your games, you get the player much more invested with what's going on and trying to figure it out. Okay, so let's look at our scorecard. We've got the game loop. Is it fun and engaging? Very simple game loop. We've got turn-based strategy, attack the enemy, enemy attacks you. I really, really liked that mechanic you introduced where there was a poison that would build up on you from the enemies, and you had someone, or you had a mechanic in which you could mitigate that, but obviously the mitigation of it comes at the price of health. So again, kind of talking about that RNG, if you give your player a very specific amount of poison buildup that they can start to plan around, now suddenly you're really starting to break into the strategy of this game. You know, how much can I push the envelope before I have to utilize that function to reduce my poison, but then at the cost of health? So you really start to create an arena where your player has to start to plan out their actions a few steps ahead. So instead of necessarily like building up the poison in a random number, what you could do to add a little bit more stakes to this game that you've created is instead have the enemy bring out a different kind of attack, right? But don't necessarily, you know, sidewall your player with it. Kind of introduce them to it slowly. Like when you get to that boss, right? Like he attacks 2-3 times and it's normal, everything's normal. But then all of a sudden he brings out a new attack. And then now that new attack maybe gives you a larger amount of poison. You're like, oh, okay. So now I have to either, you know, watch out for this or see if there's a pattern to when he brings out this big attack versus these little attacks. Right? So there's lots of different ways you could kind of run with that to still introduce that element of RNG, but to give your player much more agency over how they strategize through the game. Creativity. How inventive is the game? Well, I mean, you know, your basic click point action strategy tactical game. The concept of it is not necessarily super creative, but the mechanic you built into it with having a parasitic friend, para-friend, I like the little play on words there, to balance out the poison mechanic that you've introduced from the enemies, that is a creative spin on it that I really did enjoy. So nice job there. Originality. Does it stand out as something unique? I think that this idea has been tried before, but I don't think it's been streamlined enough that it isn't something that wouldn't stand out on its own. Like, if you were to develop this further and really lean into this mechanic of having to balance negative status effects that come from enemies at the cost of health, I think that is a mechanic that definitely has not been overused yet in these types of games, and I think leaning into it, you probably could make it into something very unique and creative. So, yeah, I like the originality there. Technical execution. Is it functional, polished, and well built? I mean, I only did one playthrough, but I didn't run into any bugs. I was able to execute through all the menus. I could adjust the sound clearly, cleanly. Yeah, no, very good. Technical execution was great. Another awesome submission by Kisami. Thank you so much. Good work. This next one, we did have to download it. This is Paranormally. This one was submitted by Sanjit. Actually, I think we'll go to the page for it first, just so that way we can see if there's any extra little details that we need to know. Paranormally. You are a paranormal researcher hired by a wealthy royal family to investigate the sealed cellars for any such activity. In an unexpected turn of events, help free the spirits trapped for 700 plus years. No AI was used in the project. All code and assets, art, music, sound effects, etc. are original. Oh, heck yeah. Nice work. So you even went ahead and you did your own music and sound effects? That is really cool. I'm very intrigued to see this. And actually, I think I'm probably going to drop you a message in the Discord too. I more or less, I'm just curious which programs you utilized to do those things. That is one area of dev that I haven't really done any diving into, other than kind of like recording voice lines using Audacity or something like that. Got a free font. Yep. More information. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let's get into it. What? I trust you, Sanji. I don't think you're trying to put a malicious virus on my computer. Okay. Paranormally. Nice. Ooh. Oh no. This must be an issue with my computer, because this was happening before too when I was loading them to read your unread notifications. What? Huh. Yep. Never mind. Just had a weird notification on my recorder. Oh geez, what was I just saying? Oh, so the background music, I'm getting some very deep tones in the background here. I'm liking the ominous feel. Got a little game juice. Good. Options. Music volume, sound effects volume, fantastic. Doesn't really sound like I need to adjust them though. Music seems like it's low enough. Alright, let's just jump right into it. Oh. Nice touch. Very, very nice touch, sir. Haha. Wow. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna say, just right there, that little animation intro you set up there, very clever, very cool. I like that. I am a paranormal researcher by trade. A wealthy royal family owns this fort. The fort used to hold prisoners in the cellars underground. Interrogated and tortured to death, they suffered a cruel fate. The underground has been sealed for the past 750 years. Now, the government is forcing the family to either sell the fort or make it a tourist destination. The family chose the latter and hired me to provide an investigative report before any restoration work begins. I don't know what it is about this artwork that you've added into the background with like the brickwork and the archway. It almost feels like I'm kind of moving down it. And your music selection for this particular scene is very good too. There's a lot of very good nuance here that I'm seeing. And this is phenomenal. Just very, very good job. Sorry, I'm gushing a little bit here, just fangirling all over the place. Don't worry about me. The deadline is 3 weeks. I have been told there may be booby traps underground. Oh boy. Strangely, my equipment isn't working. It has happened in the past, so nothing to worry. I'm sure there are ghosts here. Let's say hi to them. Oh, dude, you've really upped your game with these cinematics. Spirits, huh? Seems friendly, though. What do we got, Casper over here? I want to help you. You want to help me as well? That was unexpected. I see. You guys are trapped. I will set you free. You will give me powers in return? Oh. Oh, that's sweet of you. Okay, so we're going to help free some ghosts, and they're apparently going to give us some powers. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, let's see. So we've got move, jump, X. Wait. X is ghost mode. C is dash. Z is up dash. Alright, so hold on. We got to try these out. Okay, so that's our jump. So can we can jump and dash. Okay. I'm afraid to hit my forward dash. Okay, all right. Nice. Now I'm wondering, right? It says I want to bring this point up. I've talked about this before in platformers, right? When you have something like this. But I wonder if this was intentional, right? Because if you're looking at this, oh, haha, and then you hit C, I wonder if this was an intentional choice, so that way the player didn't accidentally launch themselves off into the spikes right as they're kind of experimenting. So, potentially that is a forced... a choice by the developer to help the player out. Alright. So we'll say one thing I don't like mechanically, and this could just be a personal pet peeve, right? You know, this might be the way it was intended. Once you've jumped, you have no agency over movement, which is fine. So you have to already have momentum when you're jumping to control the jump. So once you're in the air, you have no agency over the move. So if you've already gone forward too, right? Like you can't, like I can't stop the momentum of that. So as far as but that being said, when we're talking about video games, when we're talking about you know, the player agency in platformers, you do want to have the player be able to control their movement once they've gotten going. Okay. Ghost mode can be accessed only while touching the spirit. However, you can't interact with objects in ghost mode. In ghost mode, you are invulnerable to traps. Free the ghosts, also escape the traps, move in air. Okay, so that's... Alright, so it was a development choice. So I guess you can kind of take my notes on player agency with platforming with a grain of salt, because it looks like you intended for the platforming to be done a specific way. So, yeah, it's just an initial reaction, right? So obviously I gotta play through the game, and we'll see if I still feel that way by the end of it. Alright, so we touch the spirit, we enter ghost mode. So once I'm in ghost mode, I can't move. So how do I... do I have to, like, run through this thing and then hit ghost mode? Is that how we're gonna do it? No? Huh. Okay. Maybe I can just jump over this? Okay, so that's how we get through that obstacle. Alright, so we've got some multifaceted move mechanics to navigate obstacles. Alright, so it does look like this was a very intentional choice. Okay, E. So... I guess I don't quite understand what the point of ghost mode is if we have to be touching... What? If we have to be touching the spirit to turn it on... Or can I still use... But now I'm stuck. Is there another way for me to move? Yeah, I can't dash forward anymore. Alright, restart the level. No. Oh no, did I break the game? Music's still going. Wait, what? Why was it? Now I can dash suddenly, but I can't. Oh no! Oh man. Alright, we're gonna have to do a force quit. Alright, let's try this again. We're gonna skip over it, just because we've seen all that. So, what happens? I'm just gonna see if I can just, like, dash through it. Right, because if we do this, that's cool and all, but... we still can't turn around, and we can't interact with that in ghost mode. Interesting, now this menu's working. Huh. Alright, so let's get a running start here. Jump! Z! C! Okay. So now, we gotta figure out how to do this. I mean, I think I can drop and navigate it that way, but then it almost seems like, well, what are the point of these ghosts? Oh no, that's just it. The menu doesn't work on this level. Oh, crap. I broke it again. Okay. So menu works on the first level, but not this level here. All right. We're going to give this one more try. And then otherwise, I apologize, Sanjit. Either I am dumb, or I keep breaking your game. Woo! Ooh, that was close. What? Okay. So now I'm wondering if I can do this. Nope. Oh, that's right, because you can't adjust your momentum in the air. So how in the world am I supposed to do this? Because I can't fall through these. Because that's what I was wondering, like, if I could scooch to it but fall through in ghost mode, and then I guess turn it on again over there. Because if I go this way in ghost mode, then I could like scooch across these, but I couldn't turn back around. I think that's how it's intended to do, but I can't change direction. It's unfortunate. Can I go through the wall in ghost mode? No. Alright. Well, that's unfortunate. Either I'm really not understanding these mechanics, or I think it's a little broken. That is sad. That's very, very sad. I don't know. All right. Well, let's talk about this. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? Ah, over here. Here we go. Okay. So let's talk about our game loop. Is it fun and engaging? Well, unfortunately, I can't rate the game loop. I wasn't really able to get into it. I could see what you were going for, but I'm not sure if there was a mechanic that was broken, like if you were supposed to be able to control the direction once you were in ghost mode or whatnot. But yeah, I couldn't quite figure out how to execute. So potentially, if that was on me, if I was just too stupid to figure it out, what I would encourage you to do is use a little bit of tutorialization in your intro level to help illustrate to the player how to use the mechanics. Because otherwise you're going to get dum-dums like me that cannot figure it out. Creativity. Okay, so I do want to sing some praises here. The opening little cutscene that you threw together and created, that was phenomenal. That was so well done. That was such a different breath of fresh air to some of the work that you've given. It was very unexpected, but very unexpected in a good way. It was very creative, and I think especially if you liked doing that and it wasn't terribly difficult, I think that's something you should lean into for some of your work in the future, because you really did that well. You nailed it. And as long as it doesn't take away too much from other aspects of the gameplay, like getting your game loop set up or hammering out and refining mechanics, I think leaning into some creative camera work can really go a long way in setting games apart from others. You see that all the time in games that are just super simple in their game loop, but the camera work, like for example, like a beat 'em up, right? When you make these powerful hits and executions, the camera moves and jerks and jostles with all the action, right? It helps you feel more what's going on. And then you kind of transpose that into cinematics, right? You're trying to get your player to feel something. You're trying to get your player to. You introduce some very interesting mechanics. Now, again, I'm sad and disappointed that I didn't get to really fully experiment with those mechanics and see what you had in mind, or what you were trying to do with them. But the concept of them, I really liked and thought was cool. Being able to utilize the spirits to kind of almost like enter the spirit world and then interact with the world differently. Yes, that is an idea that has been done in other puzzle platformers, but it's still one that there's enough nuance to. Um, you really can run with it, right? You can have it set up where almost like these are like checkpoints, right? And they put you into a different phase of the world. There's objects that you can only navigate with, or there's platforms that only appear when you're in this particular view. And then also, if you are setting it up that way, now another thing that can make that more unique is that your mechanics change based on what mode you're in. So for instance, right, with that ghost mode, it seemed like I couldn't move. Now, if there was a way for me to adjust my directioning, then I could use the dashes, which seemed to be unrestricted while in ghost mode, and that could be a way that you could navigate around, right? It's like you get this ability to avoid traps and maybe phase through certain walls, but now you've lost your ability to jump onto platforms. So you've almost got to like plan out your route via that in different ways, right? You can't solve the same puzzle the same way because now you have a whole new set of rules. So originality, I think you could really lean into that idea and have a puzzle platformer in which you do have different phases that the character enters into, and the mechanics of moving change based on that phase. I think that's a great idea. Technical execution. Unfortunately, again, it seemed like there were some bugs that really just kind of broke the game as far as the movement was concerned. It was impossible to get past the second level or even restart the second level. So definitely some execution issues there. I do want to stress again, really awesome, great intro. I really wish I could have played into what you were getting set up with those mechanics. To both of you, Kisami, Sanji, again, great work. Thank you guys so much for participating and showing off what you are working on. And again, it's been so incredible being able to watch devs grow and increase their skill sets, try new things, and really experiment. As the guy that's just kind of sitting here, and every month it's almost like, ooh, let me see your work, let me see your work. I really I really do get to see these leaps and bounds that you all are making in your development journey, and just quite honestly, it's an honor, and it's really great to see. And I hope that I can continue to encourage more devs to participate in our community jams. And we'll definitely try and figure out what we can do to get people a little bit more involved. Because like I said, unfortunately, we had a whole month for this. There were a lot of people interested. And then just unfortunately, for one reason or another, we didn't get a lot of submissions. So I'll do some back end work on that, figure out what was going on there and how we can make it a better experience moving on and in the future. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you again to our devs who submitted work. This has been Be Jammin number 6, hosted by Grimlyte Games and your host, Grimmy. Come join us on our Discord, hang out, learn some skills, and put yours to the test for our next jam. And as always,